श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। ॐ विष्णुपादाय राधिकाय प्रियात्मने श्रीमद्भक्तिवेदान्त नारायण नामिने श्रीकृष्णलीलाकथने सुदाक्ष्यं औदार्यमाधुर्यगुणैश्चयुक्तं वरवरेण्यं पुरुषं महन्तं नारायणं तं शिरसो नमामि। त्रिदन्दिनं भक्तशिरोमणिं च श्रीकृष्णपादाब्जद्वैतगति चैतन्यलीलामृतसारसारं नारायणं तं सततं प्रपद्ये। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। नमः विष्णुपादाय गौरप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमद्भक्तिप्रज्ञान केशवोक्ति नामिने अतिमर्त्यचरित्राय स्वश्रितांशपालिने जीवदुःखे सदाताय श्रीनाम प्रेमदायिने। नमः विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिसिद्धान्त सरस्वती नामिने श्रीवर्षभारती देवी दयिताय कृपामये कृष्ण संबंध विज्ञान दैवे प्रभवे नमः। माधुर्योज्ज्वल प्रेमभ्य श्रीरूपानुगभक्तिगा श्रीगौरा करुणाशक्ति विग्रहाय नमस्ते। नमस्ते गौरवाणी श्रीमूर्तये दीनतारिणे रूपानुगविरुद्धाः सिद्धान्तध्वन्तहारिणे। नमो गौरकिशोराय साक्षात् वैराग्यमूर्तये विप्रलम्भरसम्बोधे पदनुजायते नमः। नमो भक्तिविनोदाय सच्चिदानन्दनामिने गौरशक्तिस्वरूपाय रूपानुगवरायते। गौराविर्भावभूमेस्त्वं निर्दिष्टा सजनप्रिय वैष्णव सार्वभौम श्री जगन्नाथाय ते नमः। वञ्चाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नाम्ने गौरकृष्णे नमः। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धो जगत् Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Bhakta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Jayatam Surato Pango Mama Mangalavadevati Matsarvasva Padambojo Radha Mohan Divyat Vrindaranya Kalpamanada Srimad Ratnagar Singhasanasto Shri Shri Radha Shri Govinda Deva Preshali Sevyamano Smarami Shrimam Rasarasaramhi Vanshivata Tatasthitaha Karshannenu Swanergopir Gopinatha Shri Suna Vrindai Tulasi Devyai Priyai Keshavasya Cha Krishna Bhakti Prade Devi Satyavaktai Namo Namaha Panchatattvatmakam Krishnam Bhaktarupa Swarupakam Bhaktavatam Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakta Shaktikam Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare.
I don't want to leave it.
No?
I can't.
Okay.
Didi, do you want some Ricola or
I have
Swalin?
something, thank you.
Sorry.
So we'll do Gurudev Kripa Karke and all the different books. This one, the small book, page 360.
Hindi. Look for Hindi songs.
Once a long time ago, we were actually singing Ali Mohilage Vrindavaniko in front of our Gurudev. We were in Singapore. And she didn't know the words yet. It was brand new for us. And she was like, Ali Mohilage. She didn't know the words, but she was singing with so much enthusiasm and gusto. And our Gurudev was like, whoa, like this.
I was sitting like close in front of him and I'm just making any word up, you know, and just go. There was another Indian girl next to me and she was singing the words really loud and I'm just like, you know, Tadaliko, and Gurudev was like doing this and just laughing at me.
And then, yeah, tell it.
And then after he looked at me and goes, do you know the words to this bhajan? I'm like, no, Gurudev. And he started to laugh and he said, I like this. I want that my daughters should be very bold and sing with such enthusiasm.
But then he said, in general, only for attracting a more wide audience, we may sing any of these bhajans. It's basically casting a net. But for us, for our own practice, we should focus on the bhajans of our Guru Varga. Srila Narottam Das Thakur, Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur.
I had a question about this song, because isn't it like Meera and we don't really consider her like a devotee or
Ali
something?
We consider
Mohilage?
her a devotee.
Well, like, but she's not part of like the Braj.
She's totally part of
She
that.
is. She was the Jiva song.
Because she was worshipping Krishna by himself and now
Without
with Radharani,
Srimati
so
Radhika,
like
yes.
how does all of that play into it?
Many of our Guru Varga have actually addressed this particular issue. Because she's not approaching Braj Krishna through the medium of the mercy of Srimati Radhika, but rather trying to go direct, our acharyas have understood and have explained that you cannot enter Braj that way. one requires the mercy of the Ishwari of Vrindavan and the Ishwari of Krishna, Rasa Ishwari, to be able to enter into Vrindavan. So she is, in essence, bypassed that process. And so they don't accept that she is actually attained to that, to Braj Krishna. Our Gurudev actually, in this conversation regarding Ali Mohilage, he was addressing this particular issue, and he said, it may be that she became a maidservant of one of the queens in Dwarka.
But we can still sing the song, even though it's not.
It's a nice song
Okay.
saying I like Vrindavan
Okay.
so much.
So just with that purpose.
But generally, we should try to attach our hearts to the bhavs of those who are in the line of thought, our Rupanuga Guru Varga, the moods that we want to attain, the moods that we want to connect to. And so we generally sing the bhajans of Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Sri Narottam Das Thakur, Lochan Das Thakur, and all of those who will increase that mood in our hearts. So in general, there's a difference in the bhavs. You can see a difference in the moods. One is kind of, Sundara la la Sachin, and everyone's like, woo, like this. But look at Narottam Das Thakur.
They're all like sad.
Gaurangera Dutipada Jaradhana Sampara. Tears pouring from his eyes, and he's crying at the feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So one is kind of a happy, dancey, kind of fun thing. And then you go to Mahaprabhu's lineage, and that's the line of crying for Krishna. Tears, and of course there's happiness and there's dancing and all of that, but not as a general thing. It's not a mood of passion, it's a mood of utter desperation in separation, crying for their mercy. And so, in general, there are so many, you can call them Braj Kirtans, Braj Bhajans, that have a little bit more of a light, I would say, halka.
Like a party type.
Yeah, it's a little light, maybe even say laghu. And it doesn't have that same gurutva that the bhajans of Narottam Das Thakur, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur have. What they've come to awaken in us. We're praying, Gurudev Kripa Bindudiya, please give me your mercy, give me one drop of humility. Tiranapeksha Atihin, give me that mood. I want to approach with that mood. Not thinking like, one of the main chants in Braj that so many people do is like, what is this? Radhe Radhe?
Radhe.
Our Gurudev said, never, never, and never. We don't say that.
We want it for Radharani, not for ourselves.
No, but if you're saying Radhe Radhe, you're ordering our Swamini, to arrange our meeting with Shyam Sundar.
It's like, no.
This is completely opposite to the mood of Rupanuga Vaishnavas. We can beg Krishna to arrange our meeting with the lotus feet of Srimati Radhika. Right? Shyam Sundar Shikanda Shekhar.
So how is that right, that we can order Krishna to do that?
We don't order, we're requesting. Please, if you can do anything, if you can give me anything, then please make me a kinkari there. At the feet of your dear most beloved Srimati Radhika, but not...
If you go to the temple of Mira and you go to have darshan of her Giridhari in Vrindavan, there's on one side Srimati Radhika, and they worship Mira on the other side of Krishna, like as his own consort. And that is not the mood that we try to go toward.
Was Mira a predecessor of Lord Chaitanya?
She was after Mahaprabhu. She was there at the time, I believe, of Srila Jiva Goswami Pad. And she got some shiksha from him, but she didn't take his line of thought. She had this mood of being the lover of Giridhari on her own without. And as we heard last night, Anugatya is so important.
In the line of Rupa Goswami, the mood is not that I want to meet directly with Shyam, but rather, what Raghunath Das Goswami is praying to Srimati Radhika, Sakyayate mama namostu namostu nityam dasyayate mama rasostu rasostu satyam. He's saying that this position as your Sakhi, who meets with Krishna, I'm offering pranam to that position. I respect it so much. And our Gurudev would add something, but I don't want any lesser thing. My only aspiration, the only thing, the only hope and taste that I have is dasyayate, that I may be your dasi. In truth, this is my only aspiration. He is our Prayojan Acharya, who is teaching us by his own example how to attain to the perfection of real Rupanugatva. Means in the line of Rupa Goswami, he's the best of Rupanugas, so he's teaching us how to approach. So they don't want to meet with Krishna personally. They only want to push Radharani to Krishna.
What does Srila Prabhupada?
That's what Srila Prabhupada wrote in his purports in Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. That what does Krishna like the most? Radharani.
Radharani, yeah.
So if we're following the ideal of the essence of pure bhakti, bhaktir uttama, it has no selfishness at all within it. Otherwise that would be called karma. Right? Karma mishra bhakti. Anya abhilashita shunyam jnana karma adi anavritam. Right? So anya abhilashita shunyam jnana karma adi anavritam. If I'm approaching Krishna for some kind of reciprocation in a, you could say, some material reward, then it's not considered pure bhakti. Pure bhakti is only for his happiness, his pleasure, his benefit. So what pleases him the most? Well, that's well known. His own pleasure potency. That is Srimati Radhika. So Prabhupada, he writes that our mood is how to push her to him. And so this is really the meaning of Rupanuga. It's pushing her to him. May they be happy forever. And may I always serve in, what is it, Das, Anudas. May I serve the servants of those who are serving the lotus feet of Sri Sri Radha and Krishna.
Prior to Madhavendra Puripad, there wasn't as much worship of Srimati Radharani. So in that case, how would pure bhakti be conducted if there wasn't necessarily the worship of Radharani for them to meet and for you to have this selfless desire for
This
their
means
meeting?
before the time that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself appeared.
Right.
He came to give a particular mood, a particular brajabhav. Brajabhav is the beauty of Srimati Radhika that he wanted to give. He wanted to taste his own beloved's moods toward himself, but he also wanted to give. So it is said that Madhavendra Puripad is that first root of that kind of Braja Prem that was in this world before then. It may be that people were worshipping more Lakshmi Narayan, they were worshipping more in awe and reverence, and they didn't really understand. So Mahaprabhu came, and through Srila Rupa Goswami and all of the Goswamis, he established who Srimati Radhika is and how important she is. And then he established the worship, and even after them, they still had to fight so that Srimati Radhika could be next to Krishna. They still didn't understand.
Right. But the Sampradayas were all there, right? And like the worship of Bala Gopal and stuff was all there before Radha and Krishna, correct?
Okay, basically from what our Guru Varg is telling us, even in the Puranas, her glories are there.
Correct.
There are
But
many.
Jadev Goswami came before and he wrote all that.
Yes,
he
but
wrote
he was
such
even
a high
afraid
essay.
to write.
Yeah, but
Krishna
Yes.
wrote the Smaragalalakam.
things were there,
They were
but
there,
not
but it's-
as
They were there, but they were hidden.
Correct, yeah.
not as.
And Mahaprabhu revealed those hidden gems, and through the medium of Rupa Goswami and his followers, distributed those. And then through the medium of Srila Prabhupada, brought it all over the world. But those gems were there, they were hidden. Mahaprabhu pulled them out of Raya Ramananda and Raya Ramananda Sambad. You can see he's pulling these out. They were there, they were hidden. But Mahaprabhu said, I'm going to ask you questions, and I won't accept your answer unless you have verification from Shastra. And so Raya Ramananda is giving the proof from all of the different scriptures, but it was hidden, it was covered. So now you've given us inspiration for certain bhajans that we should sing today. Like Yankali Rupa, Jari Gauranga Nahito, etc. Radhe Radhe Hare Krishna.
Because it just wasn't like public, right? Before it was like Ram Sita and stuff, and then this is more like open to more general
Krishna's
people
Leelas
now.
are very much misunderstood
Yeah.
even today.
Yeah, they are.
This is why we see through the medium of hearing, because so much is misunderstood. And so even back then, they didn't like the idea of
Till
Srimati
today.
Radhika, who is not Krishna's wife, to be standing next to Krishna. And so our acharyas, our Guru Varg and our Guru Parampara have had to establish who she is, that she is non-different from Krishna. She is his Shakti. And
it's
so,
rare too, right? Like
I'm sorry?
it's like really rare too to like hear about Radha and Krishna, so it's not open to everybody.
well, if you think about it, Braj is Krishna's private life,
Yeah.
where he puts his crown down
Yeah.
and he forgets his majesty. He's completely covered by Yogamaya. And there, he is only thinking, I am the son of Yashoda Maya. I am the son of Nanda Baba. I am the younger brother of Dauji. And my beloved is Srimati Radhika. What else does he know? He knows his cows. He knows his sakhas. He only knows Braj. And so when we are trying to make some entrance into there, like we were discussing yesterday, all those 9 cantos of Srimad Bhagavatam, understanding that he is the majestic personality, he is the Supreme Lord. And it goes through all of these cantos telling how big, how vast, how great, how extraordinary he is. And only once we get to that point and we have that firm foundation do we get to now enter into his private life. And that also we're told to be very, very careful, that we are trespassers. We have no right to just have entrance into there. And even when you go to Vrindavan, you don't enter Vrindavan without going to Gopishwar Mahadev, going to the Vaishnavas, begging, please give me entrance into Braj, and even then under guidance. And throughout the whole time being warned again and again and again, be very careful. My Gurudev used to say, don't overturn one stone, don't pull any shrub. If it's caught on you, don't just pull it. You don't know.
Don't break the branches.
Yeah, you don't know who they are, who these jivas are, what kind of sadhana they are doing. We have no right. We're trespassers. He said we should be very careful where we tread. We actually have no right there. So we go under strict guidance and the care of our Guru Varg. So yeah, it is hidden. It's Krishna's private life. Like, you know, if you have your private life in your home, what you show the world, that's one thing. But in your home, you're completely different. So that's his home. That's where he's completely different. And it's very much protected.
If you really want to do this by number, will be like follower of Gaudiya Vaishnava will be like 0.000 some percent in the world. So it's that rare.
It will increase.
It will. But
And
I'm
then
just saying,
everything
even
else
in
will be
India,
rare.
we grew up in India, Didi. We like, for us also, like Krishna Bhagavan, no. It's only Ram.
Ram, Maya, yes.
Like Krishna Bhagavan is like,
So,
no,
like,
we don't talk in
There's only
Baniya
like
homes.
very fortunate souls get to hear about it.
Yeah, so
Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur predicted that one day all of the petty differences of all of the different major religions of the world will be broken down. And everyone will come together under one main title, one main group, and that will be the name of the Brahma Sampradaya.
We came to know when we came to the West. We didn't know when we were in India. We thought, like when my cousin took me to ISKCON temple, we thought they just made another person a god. Like, you know, when we saw this Mahaprabhu.
Right.
So, like, it's that rare.
Well, even in Braj, there are so many misconceptions. So many.
Yeah.
They're calling Srimati Radhika mother, and he's like, who's her son? Who's her daughter? She's a young girl. So Gurudev would be like, if you're in Braj, you should understand who Srimati Radhika is. What is the relationship there? Who Krishna is. The Pandits in Gokul, they were saying Krishna was born in Mathura, and Gurudev was sitting there. He's like, no Brajvasi would ever say this. No Brajvasi. And they're like, but Srimad Bhagavatam, this, that. And Gurudev was giving them all kinds of proofs.
Evidence from Srimad Bhagavatam.
And he had them holding their ears. We will never say it again. We will never say it again.
And you know, they're very proud Pandas.
Oh,
They're very, very proud Pandas.
But
All
they
the
loved him
Mathura
and they
Pandas.
respected him.
Yeah.
so there's even one truth that we know of generally. And then there's even more and more hidden truths that our Guru Varga are showing us.
And actually, this has all been revealed by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. It's there, plain as day, in the verses of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, and basically, it's time to start to learn it.
Yes.
Because then it brings everything together. If you don't see through the vision of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and what his followers have come to give, when you read Srimad Bhagavatam, you'll come out possibly with the wrong conclusion. And Bhagavad Gita. You'll think, oh, yes. Oh, if one only offers a leaf or water, that's enough. or fruit, and let me put that on in front of Krishna, and he'll accept it. But it's not enough. If that's all you have and you offer it with love, then it's enough. But people will only go that far. Well, yeah, it says a fruit. Let me offer a fruit. And then you hear from Guru and Vaishnavas and Mahaprabhu, wait a second, there's something more than that. Bhakti is emphasized. What is that? If you have nothing and you only have your tears, that's much more attractive to Krishna than someone who is offering millions of pounds of gold with no love whatsoever. What does he need with your gold? He's Lakshmipati. He has millions of Lakshmis ready to serve him at any moment. He doesn't need our gold. He's given us independence to choose to give one thing. Where are we going to place our love? And so that's the essence of all of it. And through the medium of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, and of course the Vaishnavas will be able to understand how to approach Srimad Bhagavatam, how to approach Bhagavad Gita. And Srila Prabhupada makes it very clear right in the introduction to Bhagavad Gita that this is the purpose. And he gives that introduction through the medium of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, through the medium of Sadhu Sangha, how to enter even into Bhagavad Gita, what to speak of Srimad Bhagavatam.
I read that Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada suggested that we read Chaitanya Bhagavat or Chaitanya Charitamrita before we read Bhagavatam.
Yes.
Is that correct, or is that? I was also
tell your story.
But first, if you look at all of the harmonists in Sajan
Toshni.
you'll find that Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur was putting Chaitanya Bhagavat in the weekly subscriptions that people were getting. He was giving them Chaitanya Bhagavat so that they could understand Mahaprabhu in a story form. There's not so much tattva and siddhanta there that people couldn't understand. So it was easy to understand Mahaprabhu and what he was giving, and also to have a better understanding of Radha and Krishna. So yes, it is through Mahaprabhu that we can really and truly understand who Krishna is and what Srimad Bhagavatam really is. You can't have one without the other, really.
When I was in university, instead of studying the books I was supposed to be studying, for classes I would find myself in the spiritual books section and I was reading different, Vaishnava literatures, and I picked up one book which was talking about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And I don't know who it was from, but I started reading it, and in that book it was saying, the Krishna of Vrindavan is not the same as the Krishna of Mathura and Dwarka. And I thought, hodgepodge, poppycock, this is not true, and I closed the book.
Krishna.
And then I heard my Gurudev years later saying, the Krishna of Vrindavan is not the same as the Krishna in Mathura and Dwarka. And I was like, wait a second, I read that before and I didn't believe it. I always thought it was the same.
But then he gave
And then he
proof.
said, look, it's there in Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. It's there, exactly.
And he also gave the proof from Srimad Bhagavatam when Akrura.
Right. And so suddenly, wait a second, there's something more to understand here. Without Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, we won't be able to approach Bhagavatam properly because we won't have the outline to approach Bhagavatam. And without the pure devotee, we won't be able to understand anything anyway. Jaha Bhagavata Paravaishnavedasthane. Oh, great. I've gotten this. He knows the shlokas. If I forget it, you know the one, Krishna Nyo Vasudeva? This one from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. The Krishna of Vrindavan, is not the same. Vrindavanam parityaja padamekam nagachati, or swagachin naiva gachati. The Krishna of Vrindavan never steps one footstep outside of Vrindavan. So then, who's Krishna of Mathura and Dwarka? If he's not the same, he's a manifestation of, like an avatar. The same way as Krishna will manifest, Keshava Drita Narahari Rupa, Keshava Drita Meena Sharira, Keshava Drita Brigupati Rupa. Also, Keshava Drita is going as Mathuresh Rupa and Dwarkadish Rupa. This Krishna of Vrindavan is manifesting himself, but it is not the same full aspect when it comes to the conception of rasa.
When we heard our Guru Maharaj, he was speaking about when Akrura comes to Vrindavan. And finally he's on the chariot and he's bringing Baladev and Krishna. And they stop. It's time for his mantras. So they go into Jamunaji. They're there, they're bathing. And what does Akrura see? In the water, he sees Krishna and Balaram. And then he looks on the chariot. He also sees Krishna and Balaram. So our Gurudev said, when he was chanting his mantras, his Ishtadev, his beloved Lord, his eternal relationship with the Lord, manifested and went with him to Mathura. And that Braja Krishna and Baladev Prabhu, they stayed in Vrindavan. So he was giving us all of these proofs, and we were like, wow, it's so amazing. Even though we've had Srimad Bhagavatam there, we have Srila Prabhupada's purports, we couldn't actually understand. It was like under lock and key. And then those persons who are seers of the truth, those Tattvadarshis, even they just say one little thing. He was chanting his mantras and his Ishtadev. Yeah, of course that's what happened. But before, you're young, you're reading it, you're like, wow, 2 Krishnas, and he goes,
cool.
you don't really think about it, do you? You just think, oh yeah, and that Krishna went there, and then he goes to Dwarka. But then Gurudev was showing us how they are different, and how that Dwarkadish is weeping for the Brajabasis because some semblance of remembrance of that Braja Bhav is there. And in the nighttime he's weeping for the gopis, he's weeping for Mother Yashoda. And even Gopakumar is thinking, I don't want to be here. This Krishna is so depressed. He's not like my Sakha. He's not like that beautiful young boy that I want to wrestle with and play with. He's a king. And he's only seeing a flute. He saw Gopakumar, actually, he's looking just like a coward boy from Govardhan. And Krishna's looking at his flute, and he's remembering Vrindavan, and he faints. And Gopakumar's thinking, what have I done? I've made an offense, I've made him faint, what's going on? But then he realizes, my eternal beloved is not here. This Dwarkadish Krishna will never be able to satisfy the relationship that I'm craving for. I can't wrestle with him. I can't take a bite of some good samosa and put it in his mouth. I can't do that. He's a king. Everyone is worshiping him as Vasudev. He's like the Lord himself, and they know it. He has 4 arms. It's not normal.
Not for a Sakha.
But in Braj, the relationship is carefree and open, and there's nothing that can hold that love back. And because of it, that love controls Krishna. So Gopakumar is thinking, oh, this isn't my Krishna. This is a different person. Then he comes back to Boma Vrindavan to do bhajan, to attain to his eternal relationship with his own heart's beloved. So, yeah, but when our Gurudev said that, because when I was young, I grew up in a temple in Los Angeles called New Dwarka. And yes, we got cookies from Prabhupada, all these beautiful things happened. We learned Bhagavatam, even the tapes that we would listen. I don't know if you know what tapes are.
Cassette tapes, it has a little strip of magnetic strip.
We're really dated now.
Which your dad made for your mom.
4 CDs.
You still saw those.
Yes.
We
What's
would,
a CD?
we would listen to tapes that were Krishna's flute, Venu Gita, and the gopis would be glorifying Krishna's flute song and the deer, and we'd go to bed listening to all of this, and it was very sweet. We were gaining all of this. But as we grew up, there came a point when I thought, I want to know really if I believe in Krishna or I'm just being told to. So I started reading Srila Prabhupada's books. And in the process of reading Srimad Bhagavatam on my own, I realized that the goal of my life, of my bhakti life, because Krishna was only in Vrindavan for a very short time, and he's in Dwarka for like 90 years or something. So I'm like, it's obvious, Krishna wants to be in Dwarka, not Vrindavan. He left Vrindavan, he doesn't want to be there. He wants to be in Dwarka. So I thought, okay, the temple that I'm growing up in is called New Dwarka, and the deities are Rukmini Dwarkadish. And I'm like, the goal of my life is to become a queen in Dwarka. I thought, I want to become 16,109. And I wanted a palace, 10 sons,
10 kids.
1 daughter.
Many maidservants?
I wanted to enjoy Krishna as my husband. And believe it or not, without understanding anything, I had
Amar Chitrakatha.
I have those.
with Mirabai. And if you've ever seen that, Krishna's looking pretty handsome. And I'm like, oh my God. And as far as I could see in that comic book, she didn't have a guru. And she attained Krishna. So I'm like, me, Mirda, I got this. So I started praying and crying that I could become a queen in Dwarka.
I'd never seen anyone else do that before, but she was like in the room. The room was dark,
like,
candlelights, lots of incense. She'd be sitting there chanting with her Mira comic book open, weeping and weeping, Hare Krishna. I didn't know what she was doing. Someone called on the phone and I opened the door a crack. I'm like, you have to call back later. She was doing one-pointed sadhan bhajan to attain a particular goal without being directed by any guru. She had that natural tendency, but I didn't know what she was doing. I didn't know that she wanted to marry someone else.
Then I would chant 23 rounds. This was my goal. I would chant 23 rounds in front of Rukmini Dwarkadish, praying to be a co-queen.
But why
a
23?
co-wife.
Why 23 number?
I don't know. This was my
The more the
sadhana.
better, right?
I'm making this up.
The more the better.
This is what it was, the good number for me. And then in front of Lord Jagannath on another mala, I would chant Jagannatha Swami Nayana Patagami Bhavatume.
How many rounds?
10.
10 rounds of that.
O Lord of the universe, kindly reveal yourself to me. And I'd be praying to Jagannath,
Who you knew was Dwarkadish.
who's Dwarkadish. So I had my whole sadhan kit there with my comic book, everything. I'm set. And then I met a disciple of our Guru Maharaj. And they were like, oh, my Gurudev, this, man. I don't want to hear about gurus. Don't tell me about gurus. You can tell me about Krishna. You can tell me about Mahaprabhu. I don't want to hear about any gurus. And she's like, okay. One time my Gurudev said this. One time, and she was making me attracted. Anyhow, she moved to Malaysia, and she sent me this beautiful card that she herself made. And it was a picture of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu just chanting with his eyes up, and he's crying. And then inside was a picture of Lord Jagannath from Jagannath Puri, and I thought I was in love. Mm-hmm. And then there was this beautiful quote that said that when Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would go and have darshan of Jagannath, he would stand in such a way at Garuda Stamba that he could only see Lord Jagannath and was blocking Baladev and Subhadra because he was in the mood of Srimati Radhika seeing her beloved Brajendranandan Shama Sundar. And I stopped and I thought, I'm praying to Lord Jagannath to reveal himself to me. If Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna, and that's how Krishna is looking at Jagannath, then that's who he is. Jagannath is Brajendranandan Shama Sundar Krishna in Vrindavan. And at the bottom it said B.V. Narayan. The quote was from B.V. Narayan. So I said, I sent a letter back when there was no internet. And I sent a letter. I sent a letter to her. And all of a sudden, as any good disciple would do, I got a huge box. And it was all these books and tapes and pictures of Gurudev. And I was like, whoa, I just wanted one book. And so I read it and I went, okay, this person, he helped me. I read Going Beyond Vaikuntha. And I was thinking, wow, one-pointed bhakti. But I was still, yes, I have to be one-pointed toward Dwarkadish. And then, why am I telling this?
Because of the necessity of coming to Guru and understanding these points. Because on your own, you came up with a certain conclusion.
Right.
But Gurudev is going to correct your conclusion.
Yeah, you were saying we need Guru because if we do it on our own, we don't understand.
Thank you.
This is the practical experience of someone who's trying to figure out the truth on their own without being under guidance.
Everybody can. Otherwise, the things will be blocked.
No, but we don't want people to be on the staircase. We got a lot of room back here
Yes,
and
please.
up front, so
So
we don't bite.
Just occasionally.
So finally it happened that I didn't know this, but Narayan Maharaj was coming to the West on his first ever tour, 1996. Were you even born? No. Yeah. Okay, 1996. And I was so excited. I didn't want a guru in my life but I just wanted to offer my respects to this person that taught me something. So I'm going to make a long story much shorter.
She's going to cut out all the good stuff.
So I had to quit my job so that I could even see him for the afternoon. I had to go through all these obstacles. Finally, I get to the airport and I'm waiting and I'm holding this garland. And Gurudev came out and I offered the garland. And it's so long, I don't know where to go. Anyway.
Go to Radharaman Temple.
Yes. So I ended up running away and joining the Hare Krishnas. Even though I was a Hare Krishna. The Gaudiya Mat Hare Krishnas.
Being born as a Hare Krishna is like being born in a sense in any Hindu family. You learn about Krishna, you hear about everything, and it's part of your upbringing, but it doesn't mean that your heart is flowing in that direction. It's just part of the culture. You still have to find that for yourself and awaken that inclination to love and serve Krishna. It's not that it's just because I'm born this way that I am a devotee. I'm born that way and I don't have devotion. I need to somehow awaken that devotion. So we were also raised in that situation.
So anyway, some weeks go by, and Srila Gurudev one day said, you should come to my room at 7 a.m. and don't eat anything. I was like, okay. So I went to all my friends and I'm like, I'm going to have breakfast with Narayan Maharaj. And they're like, what? He doesn't just have breakfast with young ladies. What are you talking about? I'm like, he told me to come tomorrow at 7 and to not eat anything. You know, it's breakfast.
Breakfast, yes.
And they're like, no, he's going to give you initiation. I was like, what? No, I can do breakfast, but I can't do initiation. So I ran to his room and I said, Gurudev, I'm sorry, but I can't accept initiation from you. And he went like that, and I said, I'm newly married and I'm not following all principles. And his eyebrows went like this. And he said, I am aware these things are going on. And I'm like, and then he said, but how will you give it up? How will you give it up, and why would you want to if you don't have any higher taste? If you have given all of these lesser things up, you should be giving initiation, not accepting. I was like, oh. And then he said, anyhow, initiation happens when Gurudev first glances at his disciple. Everything else is just formality. And so I said, I'll see you at 7. So I went to his room the next day, and he began to give me Harinam. And then he began to give Diksha, and I was like, he said, are you ready for Diksha? I said, no, I'm ready for Harinam. He said, oh, if you're ready for Harinam, you're ready for Diksha. I was like, oh. So then he proceeded to give me my Diksha mantras, and then in the middle of giving me my mantra, he stopped and he said, oh, this mood, husband and wife with Krishna? I was like, yeah. He said, for you, it will never be. And I was like, first of all, how did you know? And second, how do you know? And he said, the nature of your Atma, the nature of your love of Krishna is that person. He said, your Vallabha is Brajendranandan Shyamasundar Krishna in Vrindavan, and your Swaminiji is Srimati Radhika.
Yeah.
And then he just proceeded to give me my mantras. And I was sitting there shocked. Everything I had been hoping for and praying for, I wanted to be a queen and have palaces, and now I'm going to be a maidservant. You know, this whole idea of like service, I was like, what? No. I'm not trained to be a servant, I'm trained to be a queen. And it was shocking to me, but one thing I realized, well, many things. One, I was approaching Krishna for my pleasure. It never occurred to me what would be pleasing to Krishna. I was thinking, well, I want God as my husband. Yeah. Ultimate. Like, awesome. This is good. And the other thing was that my Guru Maharaj could detect what is the nature of this Atma and what connection it has to Krishna. So instead of having to try to figure out on my own, should I worship Lord Ram? Should I worship Dwarkadish? Should I worship Gopal? Should I worship what mood? Where? Even in Vrindavan.
You're just babysitting.
I'm a foster parent.
Yeah.
But what mood? How do I approach that absolute? He's so vast and so big. We read in Srimad, what Krishna do I worship? What aspect? What mood? Guru comes and refines that. And then everywhere I saw in Srila Prabhupada's books, what our Guru Varg and our Gurudev was telling, where before I couldn't understand. I just thought, oh, it's telling you about who Krishna is and you can just pick and choose what you want. But if we are following in this lineage coming from Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Rupa Goswami, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Bhakti Vinod Thakur, like this, there is a very particular mood that they have come to give. There is something extraordinary, and our Gurudev would say, you have come to this lineage not by chance. Srila Bhakti Vigyan Bharati Goswami Maharaj said, if you have come to this sampradaya, if you are chanting the holy names of Krishna, if you are striving for this mood of Braja Prem, he said, you should know that no less than 100 lifetimes have been spent on this path, and you have been really doing such hard, severe sadhana to have come to this point. To know who Krishna is in Vrindavan. Like we were saying before, he took his crown off. All of his majesty is set aside, and now he is completely bewildered by love. That is power that should not go into the wrong hands. We know that when those with that kind of mood and power, they go into Braj, they don't get very far.
Right, Kamsa went to Braj.
Kamsa tried.
And he got dipped in the Kund.
Oh, really?
Yes. By Purnamasi.
Oh, no.
And he came out as a gopi form.
Freaked out.
And he did not belong there. And all of the gopis basically let him have it. And then he was screaming, help! And he had to run away. He had to run away from Braj. He went there to control, not to serve.
Putana went there to kill Krishna, but she came dressed like a mother, so he gave some mercy to her. But so many that didn't have that kind of love, every time they enter there, we understand those are the demons. So our Guru Varga is showing us that the only way to enter really into Braj is through hearing the Harikatha from those who are Tattvadarshis. What is a Tattvadarshi according to Srila Gaura Govinda Goswami Maharaj?
Well, in this case, it would be a Tattvadarshi Brajavasi. But Srila Gaura Govinda Maharaj is explaining in the verse from Krishna in Bhagavad Gita, Jnaninas Tattvadarshinaha, starting with Tadvidhi Pranipatena. What is Tattvadarshi? What is Tattva? Generally, we think Tattva means the truth. And the translation says, just try to learn the truth by approaching a bona fide spiritual master. So what is bona fide spiritual master and what is Tattvadarshi? Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself explains what is Tattva. Krishner Swarup Vichar Shuna Sanatan Advai Gyan Tattva Braje Brajendra Nandan. If you want to hear the truth or know the truth about the essence of who Krishna really is, Krishner Swarup Vichar. O Sanatan Goswami is saying, Shuno Sanatan, listen. Advai Gyan Tattva. Advai Gyan Tattva means the supreme, non-dual, absolute truth. Braje Brajendra Nandan is none other than Vrindavan's Krishna, the son of Nanda Maharaj. This is the absolute truth in form. Krishna of Vrindavan. So Srila Gaura Govinda Maharaj was expressing what is a Tattvadarshi. A Tattvadarshi is not just someone who is seeing that person. A Tattvadarshi means someone who is, Srila Prabhupada used the term, who is practically experiencing that truth. And Srila Gaura Govinda Maharaj added the word, practically experiencing their relationship with that truth, means with Krishna. That person who has that relationship, in essence, they have captured Krishna within the core of their heart by their love and affection. O Vaishnava Thakur, Krishna se tomar, Krishna te paro, tomara shakti ache. So Krishna is yours. And because Krishna is yours, you can give him. This is within your power. Only love can capture Krishna. Krishna is faster than the fastest. So how did Yashoda catch him? She was hefty. She was middle-aged. How can she catch a little boy running from her?
Zigzag.
In a zigzag pattern on top of that. Best of football players. Going this way, this way, this way, this way. But she was able to run after him, and not only run after him, but run faster than him. And then not only that, that person who was otherwise uncatchable was able to be caught by Yashoda. And not only that, she also held a stick up and made him cry. And he was like this. And then, after her ardent endeavor, she was able to bind him. Who can bind that person who is unlimited and uncapturable? Only love and affection. Yashoda bhiyo lukaladhavamanam paramrishtam atyam tatodrutya gopya. She bound him by the ropes of her love and affection. She was able to catch him and run faster than him by her love and affection. She was able to catch him by her love and affection. Only Prem is able to capture and bind Krishna. So much so, Bilva Mangal Thakur is saying, Chorang Graganyam Purusham Namami. But he's saying I'm going to catch you in the prison, put you in the prison of my heart, and I will never let you go. Who can do that? Oh, there's only one place that Krishna likes to be, and that's in the prison of the heart of his pure devotee. That's the place where he rests. Sarva Hridaya Mahyam Sarva Hridaya Tvaham Tumara Hridaya Sada Govinda Vishram Govinda Kohina Mama Vaishnava Param. Sri Narottam Das Thakur is saying that, O Vaishnava Thakur, Krishna is always resting within your heart. And Krishna himself is saying, my devotee, my Vaishnava, Mama Vaishnava Pran, is my life and soul. So Krishna is captured only by prem, only by love and affection, and not by any other means. Otherwise it's not possible. And he likes to be captured, but he wants to be captured only in that way. He can't be captured in any other way. So Mother Yashoda is able to capture him by her love and affection. She doesn't have any other motivation or capacity other than that to capture Krishna. And by that he is conquered. Sometimes our Gurudev would speak about this. Why? He would say, well, we should conquer Krishna with love and affection. Control Krishna. Who wants to control Krishna? Why do you want to control Krishna? Why would anyone want to control Krishna?
To give him pleasure.
Good answer. Why would we want to control Krishna? Because he likes to be controlled. So then it would be considered bhakti. He wants to be controlled by love and affection. And if one doesn't have love and affection, then how will they be able to bind him or control him? Srila Bhakti Kamal Govinda Maharaj, he was explaining, why is it said that Krishna is resting within the hearts of his devotees? He said, everyone in the world is praying to Krishna. Give me this, give me that, do this for me, do that for me, take away my misery, give me wealth, give me health, give me a car, give me a house, give me a wife, give me children, give me a husband. Give me, give me, give me. He said his ears begin to burn and he just needs any place to go that is peaceful and quiet, where people aren't just pestering him constantly. Is there any place that is quiet? Oh, the hearts of the sadhus. They are akinchan and nishkinchan. They don't have anything, they don't want anything. They just want to create a beautiful, comfortable, quiet, soft place for me to rest, for him to do what he wants. So he goes and he rests within the hearts of the sadhus. And because they have no material desire and they're only waiting how to serve him for his happiness and pleasure, he's able to be peaceful in that place. So he's able to rest, Vishram, in the hearts of his own pure devotees. And from that place, because they have captured him by their love and affection, they can give him. So if we're just reading on our own, we can't capture Krishna. It's not possible. I can read it, I can think I know everything, but nayam atma pravachanena labhya, no matter how much education I have, no matter how much Sanskrit I know, no matter how much knowledge I have of Veda and Shastra and all of that, unless he chooses to reveal himself, he cannot be known. And he can only be known by undivided, loving affection. Bhaktatvananya sakya aham ede vidorjuna gyatum drashtum chatatvena praveshtum chaparantapa. Krishna is saying that only by undivided means exclusive, pure, unadulterated bhakti can I be understood and known as I am in truth, standing before you. Otherwise, how can we know him? So not by any other means, but other than him choosing to reveal himself. But how does he choose to reveal himself? 99% of the time is through a very particular medium, through the medium of the embodiment of his own mercy and compassion. Krishna Kripa Shri Murti, that is Shri Gurudev. So our whole process is based on this foundational principle. Samsara dava naladithaloka pranaya karunya ghana ghanatvam praptasya kalyana gunarnavasya vande guru Shri Charanarvindam. I'm in this material world. I'm burning in a blazing forest fire. I don't even realize that I'm so intoxicated. I think, oh yeah, this is really good. Everything's fine. But as we know, as you've discovered recently, in one moment it can be taken. So it is also in such a state of uncertainty, always very, very fragile. In one moment, everything can change. So this is our blazing forest fire. Radhe Radhe, Hare Krishna, welcome. So, I know, one second. Krishna's mercy is compared to the ocean. But if there's a forest fire, I don't know if there were forest fires here. I know they were in Oregon and in Badger. I remember in Badger, it came within 1 mile of the temple, and it was coming. It was a massive fire, and they were like just ready to drive down the mountain. It was coming and coming like this, and everyone's like around the world, please don't burn down this temple. This is, everyone is praying, and they were praying. And I can't say it was by their prayers, but anyhow, I'm giving it as an example. One who understands their situation and who cries and prays to Krishna for his mercy. Srila Prabhupada himself explains it. This forest fire is too big to put out with any hose, any fire brigade, or any amount of helicopters. You require something extra special, and that is rain. Rain can put out that forest fire. So literally within 1 mile of that forest fire hitting New Braj, the rain came. How does rain come? Well, the ocean condenses, brings that water up into the atmosphere. It comes in a very, very thick, rain-dense cloud, and that cloud can float over the land and extinguish that forest fire. And so that's the process by which we receive that nectar, that grace. The mercy of Krishna takes a form in our lives. That form is known as Krishna Kripa Shri Murti, the embodiment of the mercy of Krishna. And this is an eternal tattva, an eternal transcendental principle. Our Gurudev was so bold as to declare, and they've attributed this quote to Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada, but he said it, to think that there is no pure devotee available is an atheistic opinion. This would deny Krishna his tattva of manifesting mercy. And that mercy manifests in a form. That form is known as Krishna Kripa Shri Murti or Shri Guru. So Vande Guru Shri Charanarvindam. Guru is the one who extinguishes that blazing forest fire and also awakens transcendental knowledge in our heart. When we met you, I said, Divya Gyan Hriday Prakashita. I'm dependent on this. I don't think I can learn Hindi and Sanskrit and Bangla in this lifetime. But the process of serving Vaishnavas, the process of coming close somehow and melting the heart of any Vaishnava who's captured Krishna within the core of their heart, if somehow or other we can please them and we can take shelter of their lotus feet, what is in their heart? They will want to reciprocate with us. What do they have in their heart?
Krishna.
Tumhare hriday sada govinda vishram. So what will melt? What will come out? They don't have mundane stuff, all kinds of nonsense like we do in our hearts and minds. They have Krishna in their heart and mind and every part of their being. So what will manifest? What will come out? Krishna will manifest out. They will give Krishna. You can give Krishna. So we come to the Vaishnavas and beg them for their mercy so that that truth, that supreme tattva, that Advai Gyan tattva, that is Brajendra Nandan, Shri Krishna will manifest in my heart. Can you hold the question?
Yeah, I can.
Because now that we have come to Samsara Dava Nalidhaloka, we wanted to call out this Gurudev Kripa Karke Mujhko Apna Lena. Now, interestingly enough, this bhajan is in Hindi. It's not written by any of our Gaudiya Vaishnava Acharyas. However, when we call out these bhajans, it's not just a calling out or singing a song. We are calling and we are praying for something, a mercy to manifest. Do you want to add to that? So calling and praying for mercy to manifest, we're calling to a person. We're calling for their grace and mercy. And we have had personal, practical experience with this particular bhajan of mercy descending physically into our presence and giving Harikatha. So for us, this particular bhajan has a very special
I'll tell it really
capacity.
quick.
Once upon a time.
We were in England with our Gurudev, and we went to the house he was staying at. We brought harmonium, mridanga, kartos. We wanted to have some darshan and harikatha. So we went, we knocked on the door, and our Gurudev's secretary came and he said, Gurudev is in a meeting with really big people today. He's not giving darshan. And we said, okay, but can we just come in and do kirtan, for Thakurji? And he was like, yeah, no harm, you can go in the temple room. So we went in the temple room of this house, and I told, there were about 8 of us, 9 of us, I said, let's sing this bhajan, Gurudev Kripa Karake, so loud that Gurudev will have to come down. So we were like, Gurudev Kripa, and we weren't looking at the altar or picture Gurudev, we were all singing to the roof. We were just singing Gurudev Kripa Karake. And then in the middle of the bhajan, we looked off to the side, and coming down the stairs was Gurudev. So he was elderly, and usually if he would go up or downstairs, he would hold the shoulder of Sripad Madhav Maharaj or Brajanath Prabhu, and always with someone. But this time he was on his own, and he's looking at all of us, holding on to the railing, and coming down one step at a time. And we were like, oh, Gurudev's coming. We were just singing this bhajan. And then Gurudev came and he sat down, and we were just looking at him singing this. And Gurudev looked at one devotee who was, she doesn't study, she just loves Gurudev. She doesn't even know if she loves Krishna, but she loves Gurudev, so she's there. And about a week before, she asked Kishori, can you just translate this bhajan into English, so that with the same tune, so that I know what I'm singing? She's like, I don't know Hindi.
So we made a little kind of poppy version. Pop like, not poppy.
Gurudev, be merciful to me. Gurudev,
please accept me.
So it goes on and on. So she learned it like in a week. We didn't know, we just gave it to her. And Gurudev looked right at her and said, do you know the meaning of this bhajan? She closed her book. Gurudev, please be merciful to me. Gurudev. And she did the whole thing. Gurudev,
please give me the shade of your lotus feet.
I'm
taking shelter of you. Please give me the shade of your lotus feet. And
she did the whole thing, and Gurudev was, and all the devotees are looking at her like, how do you know this? And then Gurudev looked and he said, this bhajan, by the way, was written for our Gurudev. And so he said, I want that the ladies, he looked at us and said that you should sing in your own gender. So instead of saying das, say dasi, akela, say akeli, like this. And I said, but Gurudev, won't it sound bad in a kirtan like that? And he's like, anyhow I want. I was like, okay. And then Brajanath Prabhu saw that Gurudev was giving Harikatha. He started to tell. And Gurudev, because whenever Gurudev was going to speak, he came with a microphone to attach it to Gurudev. We have to get this. Gurudev said, oh, you go back to your big meetings. Nothing is happening here. And we were like, So then after some time, he went to go back, and he got up and he started to walk out. And I said, Srila Gurudev, thank you so much for coming down here to be with us. And he said, oh, I had to. You called me. And so whenever we sing this bhajan or any of these bhajans, we realize that they have so much Shakti. Like if we were just going, Gurudev! Gurudev, we're here! Want to see you! But actually we were calling out in this beautiful prayer, and Gurudev heard it and he couldn't resist. He was in his meeting, he left them to continue, and he came to be with us. So it has Shakti.
And that's the same point with all of these bhajans. They're not just a song. They are the melting hearts of any of our acharyas. And the point of them is to call to that personality and really beg for their mercy to manifest in our hearts.
Also, I just want you to remind me, I know you wanted me to tell about Arti, and this afterwards goes right after the initiation, so remind me before your question, because he's been wanting me to tell this, and it came at the right time.
So, Gurudev Kripa Karke Mujhko Apana Lena, page 360.
It's 197 in this one. And in spiral it's 197, and non-spiral it's 249.
249.
197.
By the way, this bhajan is not just for our Gurudev. This bhajan is for Krishna's mercy in the form of Shri Guru, Guru Tattva. So accordingly, who your own transcendental Gurudev is, this will also apply to them. Gurudeva Kripa Karke Mujhko Apana Lena. Guru Parampara ki
Jai.
So previously Sudevi said something which may have raised a couple of eyebrows. And that is when she first came to our Gurudev, how quickly he gave her initiation. Sometimes people are, wait, that's too quick. Mind you, she was chanting 23 rounds a day for a long time,
Plus 10.
with tears pouring out of her eyes and one-pointed bhakti toward her, well, her goal. It was one-pointed toward a particular goal. And she also had been born in a family of devotees. She was endeavoring also to become a devotee. And she was chanting, 10 rounds a day for Jagannath also on her mala, and engaging herself daily, almost exclusively, everything in bhakti, all activities of bhakti. So, as she already told, there's something Sri Guru can recognize also. Real initiation, he said, happens when Guru first glances at his disciple. Everything else is just a formality. So there is that aspect as well. There's also the aspect of the knowing. Some people, it takes a little bit of time to develop faith and understanding. And for others, it might be a continuation. We would hope so. Where we have left off, it's not that just because someone leaves this world, they suddenly attain perfection. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told this to Sanatana Goswami. Sanatana Goswami had many diseases on his body after traveling through the forests for quite a long time to meet Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Mahaprabhu immediately embraced him, and Sanatan felt like, I have made the greatest aparad, I should just give up my life. He was considering what to do. Maybe I can just jump under the chariot wheel of Jagannath. And it's considered to be an auspicious departure. Mahaprabhu completely understood Sanatana Goswami's intention and told him, do you think Krishna Prema is so cheap? Don't you think we all would have done that if we...
Yeah.
Right? So if it's that easy, then we would all just go and jump under the chariot wheel. But it's not that easy, and we really don't want it. That's why we're not doing such things. But he told him it is not like that. If it was that easy and that cheap, then don't you think we all would have given up our lives? Just leaving this world is not the qualification for praying. No, leaving this body. Not leaving this body is not the qualification for praying. And then Sanatana Goswami, when he was in Vrindavan, Raghunath Das Goswami came to Vrindavan, feeling such deep, immense separation from Mahaprabhu, from so many great Vaishnavas. He was feeling, I have no reason to maintain my life. I will just jump from Govardhan or enter into Jamuna. And Sanatana Goswami told him what Mahaprabhu said. If it was that easy to attain prema, don't you think we all would have done it by now? That is not the process to attain prema. So, coming back to this point of birth after birth after birth, we say to Sri Gurudev, you are my Lord, birth after birth. Janme, Janme, Prabhu se. You are my Lord, birth after birth. So for some, it might take many months or even years before one receives initiation from their Guru. How many years did it take Srila Prabhupada before he accepted initiation formally? 11 years from the time he first met his Gurudev. From the very first moment, the connection was there, and he understood it.
And what about Srila Gaur Govinda Maharaj when he met Srila Prabhupada? The first thing he asked him, have you taken sannyas?
Yes.
It was instantaneous. He gave him Harinam, Diksha, Sannyas all at the same time. And he had him doing the yajna to give all of these senior devotees sannyas. And they were like, who's that seat for?
He's a new boy, they said to Srila Prabhupada.
And Prabhupada said, you are all new boys. He is Vaishnava from birth. So there are different considerations. So for one, it may take many months or even years to develop that conviction that this person is my Gurudev. For others, like this one here, for me it was very different. It took me time. I was listening, looking, trying to develop trust. For her, it was, my heart has just stepped in front of me, and there's no question about it.
It was like breathing. And the devotees told me, Gurudev will ask if you got permission from your husband. You can't just accept initiation like that. He'll want to know that your husband is also okay with this. And I kept calling him. He was in Seattle. He was here.
I was working under the
just made
Space
the
Needle
connection.
selling T-shirts
He was
to the
here,
tourists.
and I was in Los Angeles, and I'm like, please give me your blessings. What if I die tomorrow? What if Gurudev leaves? Please give me your blessing, give me your blessing.
I had to keep leaving the table because she was like, I have to talk to you, I have to talk to you. And the side of the McDonald's had a payphone, so I had to like bring everything and like, she kept calling me.
Finally, he just said, pretend to sneeze. I'm like, what? He goes, pretend to sneeze. And I'm like, Hachu. He said, bless you. I'm like, thank you.
She hung up the phone and ran.
And then actually Gurudev asked me, he just said, your husband? I said, he gave his blessing. It's okay. And Gurudev was like, okay.
So, anyhow, sometimes it's different for so many individuals. For some, it might take a long time. For others, it is instantaneous. There is a knowing, and it is undeniable. And so in her connection with him, it was undeniable. He understood. She literally gave up her job. She almost gave up her husband. She gave up everything to take shelter of him. And also, like, her society, everything. It was like everything was blocking her, and she was ready to give up everything, her entire life in a moment for him, and he knew that. And so he wanted to reciprocate with that mood of surrender by giving her the best thing that he had. What's the best thing he had?
Krishna praying.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram. And if you're ready for Harinam, technically, really, you are ready for Diksha. Because actually, Diksha is the process of helping to bring your Harinam to maturation, to fruition. So Diksha helps. It gives all of the relationship necessary to somehow attain to service to Sri Harinam Prabhu. The other hair-raising thing was, Srila Gurudev said, I'm aware these things are going on. Sorry, eyebrow raising. I'm aware these things are going on. That is hair also, right?
Yeah.
At least on me, it's half of me. So, Srila Rupa Goswami tells in the very first verse of Upadeshamrita. Vacho Vegam, you can say it all together if you know it. Vacho Vegam, Manasa Krodha Vegam, Jitva Vegam, Udara Pashta Vegam, Etan Vegam, Yo Vishahita Thila, Sarvam Apimam Pritibim Sasishya. Who is qualified to accept disciples all over the world? Someone who has already given up all of these lesser things. How can you give up the lesser things? Only if you have a taste in the higher things. That was our Srila Prabhupada's main point. Higher taste. If you gain the higher taste, automatically you will give up the lower taste. But we have seen in examples from Shastra, again and again, so many great, great, powerful yogis who could control their senses, their mind, their breathing. They could remain underwater for thousands of years. And after all of that, simply the tinkling of ankle bells of Menaka
Or two fishes mating.
or a fish in the act of mating would break their entire meditation, their entire tapasya, and they would leave that and go to enjoy in this material world for thousands and thousands of years. In essence, practically undoing all of the sadhana they had done. So that is not considered developing a higher taste. A higher taste is when aprakrita manifests in the heart by the mercy of Guru, by the mercy of their Harikatha, which is emanating from their lotus mouth. This is our process. How does one get rid of the disease of lust that is in the heart, that is binding us in this material world in samsara, that I am the enjoyer? What is the process? Hridrogam ashvapahinot yachirena dhira. How does one get rid of that? The way to get rid of that is to hear the proper kind of katha, rasa lila katha, from the mouth of someone who is a tattvadarshi, someone who has the connection to Krishna, hearing it from them with faith, with regard, with honor and respect, hearing the glories of Krishna and the separation of Krishna's best devotees from him. This will replace the material, mundane lust that we have in our heart, the desire to be the enjoyer through the medium of all of our senses. It's not just sexual lust, it's all the lust. It is what they have now, eye candy. Yeah. They call it eye candy. Yeah. The lust for my eyes to enjoy, the lust for my ears to enjoy, the lust for all of my senses to be the center. What replaces that is this harikatha coming from the pure devotee. And by that, the disease of lust in the heart is gradually removed. Our Gurudev again and again emphasized the words of Srila Narottam Das Thakur in the bhajan Shri Guru Charana Padma Kevala Bhakti Sarma. He said you can't get rid of all of your anarthas first. Like he told her, if you've already given up all of these things, you should be giving initiation, not accepting. So first, Narottam Das Thakur says, by the mercy of Guru, prema bhakti jaha hoite, and then by the result of that, avidya vinasha jate. Imagine if we wouldn't need to go to Guru if we were already free of all anarthas, avidya, ignorance, and everything. It is Guru who destroys my ignorance. It is the Vaishnavas. It is the mercy of Harinam Prabhu that's destroying what's in this nonsense heart. Otherwise, Mahaprabhu wouldn't have started the Sri Shikshashtakam with the term Cheto Dag Paramarjanam. By the power of Harinam, the mirror of the heart is cleansed. It's not that I clean the mirror first and then Harinam cleans it, and then Harinam places itself in that place of prominence within our heart. So first, by the mercy of Guru, prema bhakti jaha hoite. How does prema bhakti come? First in the very smallest particle, known as Shraddha. Shraddha, Shabde Vishvashko, He Sudrada Nishchay, Krishna Bhakti Koile Sarvakarma Kritaha. Shraddha is the firm conviction that just by endeavoring on the path of bhakti to serve and please Krishna, automatically all other obligations, all other necessities, all other debts, everything is taken care of. Srila Gaur Govinda Maharaj would say, nothing to do, Baba, nothing to do. There's nothing left to do, nothing left to hold back. Krishna is taking care of everything. We can check our own hearts and our own pulses to see how much faith we have in that. That I don't have to worry for anything. Krishna is taking care of everything. This is not a cheap thing, Shraddha. But the very first particle of that Shraddha is awakened by hearing the Harikatha, which is manifesting from the mouth of the pure devotees. So by that, as that is growing, right, first, Ado Guru Parashray, surrender, submittance at the lotus feet of Sri Guru. From that, first sadhu sangha, there must be a preliminary sadhu sangha, otherwise one cannot develop Shraddha. So Mahaprabhu says Ado Shraddha, Rup Goswami says Ado Guru Parashray. There is a preliminary sadhu sangha which takes place by which Shraddha will manifest. And that Shraddha, or that faith, will, I won't say force, but will make us feel absolute desperation for sadhu sangha. And by that sadhu sangha, then Ado Shraddha, Tata sadhu sangha, Tab bhajana kriya. All of the activities of bhakti will start to be undertaken by us, by which anartha nivritti will be dispelled. It means anartha nivritti will remove our anarthas. Anartha nivritti is not dispelled. Anartha nivritti means the dispelling of anarthas. By the process of bhakti, under the guidance of Guru and sadhu, then automatically all of these anarthas are dispelled. So when Gurudev told her that thing, why will you give it up? Without a higher taste, why would you even want to? So I've come here to help you to remove those anarthas. So sometimes we think, I have to be qualified first. There must be some endeavor to be qualified, absolutely. But we should never think that I am qualified. Even if we are supremely qualified, any real Vaishnav thinks, I am the lowest of the low. There is no one more low than myself. And if I think I'm so qualified, this means I am completely reversed of the mood of a real Vaishnava. A real Vaishnava's mood is Trina Rapi Sunichena, Taro Rapi Sahishrina, Amanina Manadena, Kirtaniya Sadahari. Completely feeling themselves so lowly, so humble, and applying that wholly and totally in the lotus feet of Guru, Vaishnava, and Bhagavan. Not to materialists, not to aparadhis, not to atheists, not to mayavadis. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada said, we apply this verse at the feet of Guru, Vaishnava, and Bhagavan. So I just wanted to elaborate on those 2 points because sometimes it's like eyebrow raising. What? Yeah, you're not. That was my thing. I was like, you just met him. You're going to take initiation. She's like, what if I die tomorrow? She's like, I can't. I'm like, but you just met him. I have faith in him, but I think you need to have time to develop your relationship. And she was just like, my relationship's already established. It was already there from before, and it's just continuing. And so she needed to establish that relationship. And for me, I took more time. I met him, I told him, he told me you should accept initiation from any bona fide spiritual master. He didn't say take from me.
He told him he should follow his wife.
Yeah, he did. He said you should be bold and strong like her. But he just said you take from any bona fide spiritual master. He said you should come in process. It means into the process of bhakti. And I told him I'm not sincere. And I was in front of him, literally seeing a brick, myself, sitting in front of him, how dull and dense I am. He said, but you should follow the process. You should come into process. Gradually you will be purified. And I said, I want to take from you, but I'm just not ready. He said, okay, then Kartik time. I said, okay. So there was time in between, and I was learning so much about him by then, especially hearing from her all of her experiences. And then my faith was developing more, but still so many questions and so many doubts were there. He was saying really big things like the Krishna of Vrindavan is not the same as Krishna in Dwarka and Mathura. And I was like, wait a second, no, I don't know if I believe that. And then, sure enough, it was there in Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. I was like, okay. Krishna was not born in Mathura. What? Of course Krishna was born in Mathura. And then you read, wait a second, Krishna manifested in Mathura as a four-armed form. We never hear that he was born there. And then he's saying, but Krishna was born in Vrindavan. What? How was Krishna born in Vrindavan? Well, Durga Devi herself kicked Kamsa in the head and said, you fool, he's already taken birth somewhere else. Literally, he took his birth somewhere else. And there it is said that also this Durga, Yogamaya, Durga who kicked Kamsa in the head, in Bhagavatam directly it states that she's the younger sister of Krishna. So you're going, wait a second. So I was doubting, questioning, and it was being answered. Not just by him. He was giving the answers, but I was doubting what he was saying, and Shastra confirmed it every time. And that took about, almost a year. And then I just said, okay, all right already, I accept. Everything was verifiable by Shastra. There was nothing that we couldn't find within Prabhupada's books, or even a reference from Srila Prabhupada's books that he was telling. And I was like, wait a second, it's all there in Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. Everything that he was telling was there, fully manifest and present there. And then it helped me to develop my faith, by which I could more fully accept him. So even after receiving initiation, still I was having these kinds of doubts, but anyhow, he cleared those very quickly, very rapidly, and gave me his mercy. So I just wanted to speak about those two eyebrow-raising points, that sometimes people can be like, wait a second, this isn't right. We become accustomed to a way that something is done. It has to be done like this every time. But it's not always like that. One can become too overly obsessed with a rule and regulation and miss the essence. And that is called niyama agraha. There's niyama agraha, under adherence to rules and regulations, and niyamagraha, over adherence to rules and regulations. Basically, the primary necessity is anukulyasya sankalpa. What is favorable for me to awaken and increase my loving devotion for Krishna, I must embrace that in my heart and in my life. And what is unfavorable for that? Pratikulyasya varjanam, pranam forever. Gurudev would say, pranam forever. Means what is not favorable for my bhakti, I keep a very far distance, leave it over there, and accept what is favorable for bhakti in my life. So I just wanted to mention those two things in case anyone's eyebrows were raising. Now we will call for Vaishnava. Sakala Vaishnava Gosha? Did you want to add anything to that? Okay. Actually, previously, I mentioned the bhajan Ebaro Kuruna Koro Vaishnava Gosha. Did we sing that yesterday?
No.
We can sing it every day.
Okay.
Page 44 in this book.
This is the one by Srila Narottam Das Thakur. It says, Govinda is always resting in your heart. Govinda says, the Vaishnavas are my life and soul.
Which starting line?
32 in the page.
Page 44, E Baro Kurana Koro Vaishnava Goshai by Srila Narottam Das Thakur. You know how to play guitar?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Twenty-seven in spiral and 32 in non-spiral.
Ebaro koru, Runa koru, Vaishnava Gosha.
That's what you said you were going to say.
Naisha, this time say twice the page number on the book clearly.
Okay, now we're going to call for the mercy and the grace of Srila Rup Goswami Pad in the form of the bhajan Yam Kalirupa Sharira Nandhara. Radhe Radhe Hare Krishna. By Sri Madhav Das, that is page 47 in this Sri Gaudiya Giti Putra. I don't know what other. Because earlier we were speaking about this very rare, very valuable treasure that is being given now that has never been given before in a very, very long time. Samarpayitum unatoj valarasam swabhakti shriyam. So
Page 32 in spiral and page 37 in non-spiral.
This was the answer to your question.
All my questions?
No, this one.
Which questions do you guys want me to sing? Like,
Of not getting it before.
be honest.
Well, we have you guys with us.
we're first now coming to Young Kalirupa. They normally sing Akroda Parmananda. And I could just tell just now when you were saying the page number, your voice is very powerful and strong, much more than mine. So I know that.
Everything we know from you guys.
From watching you.
Yeah.
No one brought shalagram or anything. Yeah, you can take it.
Yang Kalirupa Shariranadharata Yang Kalirupa Shariranadharata Yang Kalirupa Shariranadharata
स्वामीपाद की जय, गोस्वामी प्रभु की जय, श्रीपाद गौरी गुरुवर्ग की जय।
Once our Srila Gurudev, he was asked to say something about Srila Rupa Goswami Pad. And he said, Srila Rupa Goswami is like the pen of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Everything that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted to tell the world was written by Srila Rupa Goswami. Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Svapadantikam. That he established the inner heart's desire in this world. This is who Rupa Goswami is. Our Gurudev said that he is like an expert diver. And he can dive into that vast, endless ocean of the heart of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Diving deep, he can go and collect so many jewels. Bringing those jewels up, he shared them with the world. He said, actually, he is like the Vamsi. Vamsi is so powerful. The flute of Krishna. It is so powerful. Even what Krishna himself cannot do, the Vamsi, the flute, can do. When Krishna is dying in separation from his beloveds, he can play on his flute. And even where Krishna cannot go, that flute song can go. If any gopi is sleeping in her room, that flute song can go directly into her window, into her ears, going into her heart, stealing it and running back to Krishna. And that gopi becomes helpless and has to run after her heart. He said, so how powerful is the flute? He said, Srila Rupa Goswami is the flute of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And then he said, he is the heart of Mahaprabhu. So when we're singing to Srila Rupa Goswami, really we are singing to the heart of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Everything that Mahaprabhu wanted to give. He was so busy actually, tasting Radha Bhav. He was tasting what it is like to love Krishna. Krishna wants to know, what is it like to love me? What is the greatness of her love? He sees it and he doesn't understand it. Chaitanya Charitamrita explains that her love is like a spotless mirror. And when Krishna looks inside that mirror, he sees that his sweetness is doubled. It's expanded unlimitedly there. And he becomes confused by it. He thinks, I need a mirror like hers. But the purpose of a mirror, it isn't to taste the beauty of someone. It's showing them their sweetness, if they have any. So Krishna's desire to have a mirror like that is not enough. He has to take her mood. He has to understand what it is like to love himself. He was thinking, I am the source of all of Ananda, all bliss, all ecstasy. It exists because of me. But when I think of who gives me the topmost ecstasy, it is only her. He began to contemplate. When I am feeling some kind of separation, it is only her that can soothe my burning heart. Any jiva, they can call my name, and I will soothe their burning hearts, but only she can soothe mine. Only her touch. And then he started to think, but even that personality, Sri Radha, for whom I am so mad for, she is even more crazy for me. He doesn't understand. What is she tasting? She is tasting the service to Krishna. Krishna doesn't know what it's like to love himself, to serve himself. So he's looking at it going, I am the supreme enjoyer, but she is tasting 10,000 times more than me. How is it possible? He thinks this is an impossibility, but I want to know what it is like. When she sees a dark monsoon rain cloud, she covers her head in shyness, thinking it's me. When she hears the wind blow through a bamboo forest, she thinks it's my flute calling at her and runs toward that bamboo forest. He's completely bewildered by it. Srila Gaur Govinda Maharaj said, Krishna's heart was like a huge pot of milk. And in that pot was so much sugar. And it was cooking down and down. He said, have you ever made burfi? When you're making burfi, as it's cooking down and cooking down, it's making tup, It's making that sound, tup, tup, tup. He said, so as Krishna was meditating on Srimati Radhika, what is the greatness of her love? What is she tasting, and what is the sweetness of me that she is tasting? I need to know this. He started to become obsessed. Obsessed? Srila Gaur Govinda Maharaj explains, why does one become obsessed? Why do they become mad? Because they don't understand something, or they can't grasp it or have it. It drives them crazy. Krishna became mad. Mad for Radha Prem. So he sat down, and this burning desire, he began to meditate on Srimati Radhika, and this mood was condensing in his heart like a pot of burfi. He said at that time, his heart began to make a sound, tup, 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 and then he said, Tap takanchana gorangi radhe vrindavaneshwari vrishabhanu sute devi pranamami hari priye. He said, meditating on Gaurangi, he became Gauranga. Giving Harinam Sankirtan to all of us, this was like a side thing. He came because of the call of Advaita. There's so many different reasons. It's time for him to give the Yuga Dharma. All of these are there. But his main primary purpose, what is that love? What is the love of the Brajabasis for me? But specifically, who tastes that highest extent of love that controls me to where I need to become a beggar for that prem? Only her. So he was too busy to write anything. Actually, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu didn't sit down and write Sri Shikshashtakam. At different times to different devotees, he spoke these different verses, and they wrote them down and compiled them into that Shikshashtakam. Yes, Srila Bhaktivedanta Bharati Maharaj was explaining this. He didn't sit down and write Chaitodharpan Maharaj. He didn't do that. But to different bhaktas, according to time, place, and circumstance, and you can tell in what mood he may have been tasting when you are reciting Sri Shikshashtakam, how he's tasting the moods of his beloved. So it is through Srila Rupa Goswami that we understand what it is that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted to give this world. Everything he wanted to say, Srila Gurudev said, everything Mahaprabhu wanted to say, he gave through Rupa Goswami and through the Goswamis of Vrindavan. So without actually approaching our Guru Varg, how can we understand? How can we understand the love between Radha and Madhava, the difference between Mathura and Vrindavan? Here it's saying that he delineated all of this. We don't have to actually try to
figure it out.
Dissect or figure anything out. It's almost as if we can run on the path of bhakti blindfolded. They have removed all of these obstacles. We don't need to question, do I go here, do I go there? They've pointed the direction. Follow in Anugatya. Follow under guidance of our beautiful Gaudiya Vaishnav lineage, especially in our Bhakti Vinod Dharak. And we will always be safe and able to run freely on this path of bhakti. They have, our Srila Gurudev said, they have undergone so much hard labor for us. He said, even Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, they tried to kill him because he was removing all of these thorns on the path of bhakti, of pure bhakti. That you have to be born in a specific family, that you have to be so high class before you can chant Hare Krishna. He dispelled all of this. He thought it was Shastra, and they tried to kill him for this. We're losing our prestige. We're losing our money. We're losing our name and fame. Oh, anybody can pick up the Bhagavatam and read it now? How can this be possible? So they tried to kill him. So our Gurudev said that we inherited all of his hard labor. We inherited that. He kicked out all the thorns, and now we are able to embark on the process of bhakti. Because of him, because of our acharyas, and before him, Narottam Das Thakur, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, of course. But if you see the lives of our Gaudiya Vaishnava acharyas, how they have fought against all kinds of apasiddhanta, how they have stopped this idea that you have to be born in a specific family to be able to give Krishna. Krishna is not bound to a caste. We know this. We hear about it through the glories of his devotees. Hanumanji, Ruda, Haridas Thakur. What would we say if we looked from the outside? What is their qualification? One is like a forest dweller. We say monkey, but he's not really a monkey, Hanumanji, like the monkeys that we see today. And Garuda, what is he doing? He's a bird. He's an eagle. He's eating fish. What are we going to say? Oh, you don't have the qualification. First, you have to change your diet. You have to change your body. You have to be born like this. So our acharyas are fighting all of this. And then not only removing all of these obstacles, they're telling us exactly how we can approach the most beautiful, sweet aspect of the Supreme Personality. Yes, all this awe and majesty is there. But at some point, you'll have to forget that to enter into Braj. So Srila Gurudev was glorifying Srila Rupa Goswami. Oh, he is like the flute of Mahaprabhu.
You too. No.
When you are here, we are
When
just
you're
an
here, we're
audience.
here. We just want to listen. They get to hear us now. We want to listen.
Arjuna, do you sing? Do you sing any bhajan?
I'm just here to hear.
But then we never get to hear.
Yeah. We always have to hear ourselves a lot. Even when we're not singing, people are playing it.
You have to sing which you used to sing for Gurudev a lot.
A lot. That was Brajajanamana.
Yes.
And you
But
told me
after?
to not Brajajanamana.
No, we want Brajajanamana.
Okay. Nitai Gunamani, Amar Nitai Gunamani by Sri Lochan Das Thakur, page 61. Just so you know, we're going in a sequence. We
Yes.
started with Guru, then Vaishnava, then Rup Goswami, and he's also representing our other Goswamis. Now Sri Nityananda Prabhu. Why? Because without the mercy of Gurudev, one cannot attain the mercy of Nityananda Prabhu. Even before Vaishnavas, one must serve and please Sri Gurudev. By their mercy, one can attain the shelter of the 6 Goswamis. By their mercy, one can attain the shelter of Sri Nityananda Prabhu. By his mercy, one can attain the shelter of Sriman Mahaprabhu, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And without his mercy, one cannot attain the shelter of Sri Sri Radha and Krishna. So we take shelter of this process of petitioning via Gurudev, Vaishnavas, our Goswamis, Nityananda Prabhu, Sachinandan Gaurahari, to be able to approach finally the lotus feet of Sri Sri Radha and Krishna in the form of Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Otherwise, when we approach Hare Krishna Mahamantra, how will we approach? You just sit down and start Hare Krishna without acknowledging Guru. Krishna won't accept your worship. What does Krishna say? Pratamam tu Gurum Pujam. If you don't believe that Mahamantra is Krishna, then you can just go direct without Gurudev. But if you believe Mahamantra is Krishna, Krishna says, I won't accept your worship unless you first go to Gurudev. So first of all, Gurudev. Gurudev says, serve the Vaishnavas. We serve the Vaishnavas. They bring us to Sri Nityananda Prabhu. Nityananda Prabhu, without going to him, if you try to go to Mahaprabhu, he'll send you home. Mahaprabhu will send you home and say, prepare yourself when the time is ready. Krishna will make all arrangements. Then you will get chastised by Nityananda Prabhu. Oh, you tried to take my own property. My property is Mahaprabhu. You went to him directly without coming to me. Then he will put his lotus feet on your head and remove millions and millions of lifetimes worth of obstacles. Cool your blazing heart, engage you in the service of the Vaishnavas, and then send you forth to Sriman Mahaprabhu. Now you can go. And Mahaprabhu won't keep you for himself either. He'll place you under the care of his very near and dear personality, Sri Sarup Damodar Goswami, Rai Ramananda, his intimate dear associates, or in the care of the 6 Goswamis. He'll send you back to that association. So our process is like that. So we call out in a progression of begging for mercy. If we just approach Hare Krishna without taking shelter of that process, Hare Krishna, what will happen? Oh, on my own, I don't have the strength to chant Hare Krishna. Ekakiya man nahi pai bal harinama sankirtane. Oh, Vaishnava Thakur, I have no strength on my own to approach Harinam. That means I'm approaching with a mood or a heart full of all kinds of other ulterior desires. And Krishna says, as you approach me, I will reciprocate accordingly. So we approach Hare Krishna thinking, oh, I'm so sad. I need this, please. Fulfill my desires. Serve me, serve me, serve me, serve me. Except Krishna's not meant to be our servant. We're meant to be Krishna's servant. So we're not approaching Hare Krishna properly. But when you go through the right medium, through this sequence, you'll have a very clear understanding. Nitai and Gauranga will clear that road. And then when you approach Krishna, you'll be approaching Radha Krishna. Please engage me in your service. I am yours. Make me yours. So the whole process is automatically unfurled properly by following in this sequence. So we go in what is called a kram or sequence to receive that descending mercy in the proper way. So now, Nitai Gunamani, Amar Nitai Gunamani.
Here's a question.
Yes.
Just a quick question, I'm sorry.
You know what? In the future, I see that you will take...
Keep asking.
No. You're like taking after Shamarani Didi. She became known as Question Rani. Gurudev loved it. No, this is good.
Assume anything about me. Not what's happening.
These questions are good.
Oh, just one quick question. I know that the song Nama Sankirtan, Hare Hare Nama Krishna, starts out glorifying Krishna and then works its way towards the Vaishnavas at the end.
Mm-hmm.
Why is it flipped around?
I cannot tell you that. It's called Sri Nam Kirtan. So Sri Narottam Das Thakur has chosen to go from that perspective.
I think Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to also sing this, Hare Hare.
The first two verses, yes, Mahaprabhu would sing also in street kirtan. Hari Haraye, Nama Krishna, Yadavaya Nama, Yadavaya Madhavaya, Keshavaya Nama, Gopal Govindaram, Sri Madhusudan, Giridhari, Gopinath, Madana Mohan.
So from there...
So those are the two. This is Nam Kirtan that would be sung in the streets, as well as Mahamantra and other kirtans as well. And then, after that, Narottam Das Thakur starts mentioning these personalities and then how to actually attain that. So he's showing us this is our goal from the beginning and then the process of attaining it. Tadera Charana Sevi Bhakta Sanivas, Janami Janami Hoy E Abhilash, serving the lotus feet of these Vaishnavas, residing at their feet. Tadera Charana Sevi Bhakta Sanivas, Janami Janami, birth after birth. This is my aspiration, this is my hope.
We may approach in a certain way in a kram, but a bhajan doesn't have to follow that. Like if you see Gopinath from Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he's like, I'm so wretched, I'm so fallen, so please, give me entrance into your pastimes. It doesn't have to make that kind of sense. It's just calling out whatever is in their heart, their own bhajan. They're adding there. And the sequence doesn't have to necessarily be that. A lot of times you'll find that it is, but it doesn't have to be. But when we're approaching Krishna, our Guru Varg have said that if we are just approaching Harinam, then there's danger because we have so many weeds in our heart. It means lust, anger, greed, pride, madness, envy, all of these anarthas, unwanted, acquired things that are not intrinsically the nature of our soul. They're all within our heart, and when we approach Krishna, most likely it may not be with a pure heart. Like my beginning story, my mood was to enjoy Krishna. Right. I thought it was pure, but when I stopped and looked, it was one of the most audacious kinds of desires you can imagine. And so Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur and our Guru Varga, they've told us that we're actually taking shelter as we're going through this kram, as we're going through this sequence. Because first, Gurudev, give me your blessing. I'm under your shelter. Help me. Without you, I'm nothing. We actually, before we even start the kirtans or Mangalacharna, we do Jayadwani. And our acharyas have told us that the Jayadwani is there. We're saying victory. Victory, and victory over what? Over all of these anarthas. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur said, we think that we are the king or the queen of our kingdom. And all of a sudden we're being overwhelmed by all kinds of rogues. What are they? All of our anarthas, lust, greed, envy, like this. And on our own we can't fight them. We can try. We've been battling them since time immemorial.
And failing, apparently.
And we cannot fight them on our own. So Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur said, what do? We call on another king, a more powerful king, to come in and beat up these other rogues that we can't defeat. And then he said, but when another king from another kingdom will come in and save you, you will put them on your own throne. You become their servant. Oh, Gurudev, you are sitting in the throne of my heart. I am not the son of this universe of mine. You are the son of my universe. Like this. So we're taking shelter. We're calling out victory, victory. Have victory over this. Nama, Nama Om Vishnupadaya. We're saying Nama, not me. Not this false ego, but you. It is about you. And I'm taking shelter of you. Nama, not me, not me. And I'm offering myself to you. Here I'm taking shelter. And then we're qualified to enter into these deeper realms. Then we're able to approach Mahamantra because we're protected from Krishna.
Protected from Krishna.
Because if you approach Krishna, he will reciprocate.
Right.
He's also death. He's time itself. He's so many things. So how are we going to approach Krishna when we really stop to think about it? Do we want bhakti? Somebody recently said, if Krishna were to stand in front of me now and say, let's go, I can't go. I'm not ready to go. I can't go with you. We're calling out, Gurudev, Kripa Karake, give me your mercy. His mercy isn't wealth and health and all of these material things. It's removing them. And then when they're removed, we're like, Gurudev, help me. I'm losing everything. What can he do? He's like, yeah, very good. You're receiving mercy. I was reminded the other day by Prabhu back there. I don't remember his name. What's your name? Devendra. He reminded me of something, and I want to tell it right now because it just reminded me. Many, many years ago, we were with our Srila Gurudev in the Fiji Islands, and he had already done Pran Pratishtha. He had installed my Radha Vinod Bihariji, and I had Mahaprabhu. Mahaprabhu came a year later, and so I brought him to Fiji to be Pran Pratishtha. Installed. And so Gurudev was sitting down and he was giving a darshan. And we were sitting there. Kishori Mahaprabhu was behind and I was up closer. And when the darshan wound down, I said, Srila Gurudev, will you do Pran Pratishtha of my Mahaprabhu? He said, what will you give me? And I was like, Gurudev, I only have 2 suitcases left. I have nothing else. And he said, not good enough. So then he started talking to other devotees, and I was like, what? So then a few minutes later, I'm like, Srila Gurudev, will you do Pran Pratishtha of my Mahaprabhu? He said, what will you give me? And then he pointed, will you give me Kishori Mohan? And then he looked at me and he said, I will make him a sannyasi. Would you like that? And I said, I will always try to like everything you do, Gurudev. And he was like, and we started talking to other devotees, and I'm like, what? So then he gets up and he starts walking to his room. And Kishori Mohan Prabhu was next to me at that time, so we were right behind him. I'm like, Srila Gurudev, will you do Pran Pratishtha of Mahaprabhu? He spun around and he said, do you want Prabhu or Mahaprabhu? I started shaking. I could feel my ears ringing and burning. I was sweating and I'm thinking, oh my God, he'll take Prabhu from me. And I was kind of feeling my heart and I'm like, oh my God, I don't know if I want Mahaprabhu. But quietly I just said, oh Mahaprabhu. And he said again, do you want Prabhu or Mahaprabhu? And I'm like, Mahaprabhu. And then he said, thank you very much. He blessed me and he walked in his room. And I'm like, oh my God, I gave away my husband. I was freaked out. And I was so afraid. And I went to Madhav Maharaj and his name was Naveen Krishna Prabhu. And Naveen Krishna Prabhu, oh my God, what's going to happen? He's like, oh, bring your Thakurji in the morning. He'll do it. But it was years later. My Guru Maharaj had entered Samadhi. And we were singing Ohe Vaishnav Thakur, Ami to Kangal Krishna, Krishna Bole Daitava. I am like a beggar running after you, saying, give me Krishna, give me Krishna. And we were singing it in the morning time, and I was like, I'm not running after him asking for Krishna. He was running after me, saying, I'll give you Krishna, I'll give you Krishna. And I'm like running, going, no, I want my husband, I want my lipstick, I want my saris, I want my 2 suitcases full to the brim. I want everything. And Bhakti Bhav and Prem. I wanted everything. And so once, actually many times, our Guru Dev would say, why is Bhakti so rare? If it is the birthright, the Janma Adhikar of every jiva, why is Bhakti so rare? And then he would say, because we don't really want it. And I used to think, of course I want it. Why am I here? Why am I going around the world and gave up a house and children? Why? But then when I was confronted, do I want this bag of flesh and blood and bones and stool and pus and marrow and all kinds of things? Like if his skin wasn't on him, would I want him?
No, absolutely not.
Do I want this or do I want Krishna? I was so afraid, and I did not want Krishna. I gave lip service. I just said, Mahaprabhu. But really I was thinking, oh my God, don't take my husband. Don't take anything of mine, anything material. So it is rare when we are actually confronted with it. How many of us will say, yes, give me Krishna, take everything from me? I was shocked at myself. And I was shocked at the truth of what he was saying. We really don't want it. When we would go on Brajmandal Parikrama, or we would go on Govardhan Parikrama, he would say, be careful. Don't have any other desire in your heart. Even if at the beginning of your Parikrama, you say your vrat, I only want Guru Nishta, I only want Radha, your goal is completely spiritual. He said, Giriraj will be following you. He will be listening very carefully. And as we're walking, oh, look at her, look at what she's wearing. Oh, I like that sari. I get one of those when I go back to Vrindavan, go to Lloyd Bazaar and go shopping. All these kinds of things. And you realize, oh my God, I'm here. I'm at Govardhan. My Srila Prabhupada has walked this path. My Rupa Goswami, my Gurudev, my Param Gurudev, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Gaur Kishore Das Babaji, they have all walked this path. All of our Goswamis, Mahaprabhu, Nityananda, Radha and Krishna, all of the Brajabasis, they've all walked this path. And where is my mind continuously running? Oh, my feet are sore. My back hurts. Oh, maybe I should get a rickshaw. And maybe I'll get the same Sukriti because I'll be in the rickshaw going around. Oh, maybe I should walk on the soft dust over there. All kinds of material things going through my mind to make my life easier. And I'm only giving a very small percentage to Krishna. It's so rare. Like if you try to actually notice what thoughts go in your mind for 1 hour, 25 minutes.
10 minutes.
It's shocking. It's absolutely, and what to speak of all of those things that are there to bring us away from Krishna. Ding, ding, Facebook. Oh, I got a like on Facebook. Oh, someone likes me on Instagram. All kinds of things of, oh, look at the news. Omicron, it's a huge thing. Oh, God, everybody's going to get COVID. Every excuse to not surrender to Krishna. We have to fight not to take a vaccine. We have to fight to take a vaccine. COVID is real. Isn't real. The earth is flat. The earth is round. Every kind of thing to distract us from bhakti. What does it have to do with bhakti?
Nothing.
What does it have to do with the eternal nature of this Jivatma who has come not only into this most rare human form of life, but who has come to the path of bhakti? Not just any kind of bhakti, not that any kind of bhakti is bad, but this Braja Bhav in the lineage coming from Srila Rupa Goswami, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, our Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, our Bhaktivedanta Srila Prabhupada. We have come to this line. And we're thinking of all of these other things. We're fighting with Vaishnavas about all of these useless things. It's just so shocking. And when we stop and we think about it, oh, because I really don't want to surrender to Krishna, I have to fight this fight for the devotees. We have to know if the earth is flat or round. It's so imperative. We can't make progress in bhakti unless we know this. It doesn't make sense. Why? Why, when we are coming so close, are we like bumblebees on the outside of a honey jar? We're so close, but we'll never drown in that beautiful sweetness. And actually, it's because we don't really want to. And that was shocking to me until I was confronted with this. Do I want Prabhu or Mahaprabhu? And I wanted Mahaprabhu, but if I were to have said more than Prabhu, no. I don't know how to make tickets on my own. I don't know how to drive. He has to drive me everywhere. I need his seva. I need him to serve me. It's not actual love. How can it be actual love if I really loved him, right? My Gurudev is present. And my Gurudev said to him once, I wanted to take you everywhere with me, but not in this color.
The white.
He wanted to make him a brahmachari. And he said, oh, but your wife is so sincere, I won't separate you. Really, if I loved him, this jiva, who has come to the lotus feet of his Gurudev, would I say, don't leave me, stay and serve me. Don't leave. Or would I say, yes, run, go and make that perfection of this human form of life, go with your Gurudev. What would be love? Stay with me. I need you. What is selfish and what is selfless? What is love and what is introverted? So it's confronting. It's very scary when we think about it. When we actually think, oh no, you're my child, you're mine, and you have to serve me, and when I'm old, you have to take care of me. It's why I had you. So that you'll take care of me in my old age.
I was told that now is my time to do bhakti and bhajan, and your time to serve and be, take care of me. It's not your time to do bhakti, it's my time. And I was like, you taught me better than that. Prahlad Maharaj taught better than that. He said, start now.
So when Prabhu was saying, if Krishna were to stand in front of me and say, let's go right now, no, I can't do it. I know that I wouldn't be able to say, yes, I'm ready. And it's true. If we actually take our pulse, so at least when we are coming together and we're doing kirtan and we're chanting and we're trying to enter into this beautiful process of bhakti, it's that time when we should associate with the devotee in each other, rather than bring each other to any mundane kind of idea. Oh, did you see that movie? Oh, did you go to this place? Oh, it's so cool. They have, did you see my new iPhone? It has all these. We always bring it to a lower level. But when we come together, we're coming together to associate with the devotee, the divine in each other, to remind each other, why are you here? Why is this Jivatma here in this world? Is it to rotate eternally in samsara? To fall back into any kind of species of life? Now that we are so close. Srila Bhakti Vigyan Bharati Maharaj, he said, when the Vaishnavas see us, that we've come to this rare human form of life, more so that we've come to this path of bhakti, and we're not taking it seriously, he said the Vaishnavas' hearts begin to tremble in fear for us. They are in fear for us. Those fruits that will soon come and be able to be relished by Krishna, we're not helping them to grow. We're stunting them, and we're planting weeds around that beautiful creeper, trying to pull it back from its love of Krishna. So he said that the Vaishnavas tremble in fear. Their hearts are bleeding and breaking. Srila Gaur Govinda Maharaj said that only a Vaishnava, only their hearts are bleeding for the suffering of the jivas in this world. We think we're happy, and they see we're only suffering in acute separation from Krishna. So Srila Gaur Govinda Maharaj said that the sound of the jiva crying for Krishna is this Mahamantra. It's like, if you're in an ocean and it's pitch black and you're only in a little rowboat, but you have a flare gun, and the flare gun shoots up and the whole sky lights up. That is like the Mahamantra. We are here in the darkness of this material world. And the chanting of that Mahamantra is like the flare gun lighting the sky. I'm here. I'm here. See me. I am yours. I know that this jiva is so precious that there is nothing in this entire material universe that can satisfy my thirst to love, my thirst to serve you. Nothing here can give me that
Satiation? Satisfaction?
That satisfaction, because I'm disappointed and disappointed again and again. This love, this Atma was only made to love you. Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. And taking our pulse like this, then we can call out and say, I need help. Somebody who is the embodiment of Krishna's mercy. Sri Guru is standing in front of me. I'm giving you Krishna, and I'm holding my heart tight, saying, I can't let him in. I'm afraid. I don't want Krishna. But by chanting the Mahamantra, by being in Sadhu Sangha, by hearing from their mouths, attraction will come in our heart. And that Krishna Seva Vasanam, the desire to serve Krishna, will awaken. And then slowly, like a surgeon, he comes in, he takes an injection, and he gives it to us, and we feel a little pinch. All of the work that the surgery is doing to us, we don't know what the surgeon is doing. We're knocked out, we're lying there. This is what Guru is doing. He's coming in, giving us a little injection. And we think, oh, that hurt. I need a Band-Aid and I need ice. And we think it's so much, but it's just a little thing. And then he begins to work inside, cleaning out all of those anarthas, all those unwanted, accumulated things since time immemorial. There's not one sin in the time that we have been in this material universe that we have not committed. Not one sin, my Gurudev said.
He said millions of times over.
All of this accumulated samskars in my heart, Gurudev comes in and starts chiseling them, getting rid of them. And then slowly we begin to wake up. Jeev Jago, we're waking up slowly, leaving the lap of Maya. Gurudev is so kind that he gave me Mahaprabhu, let me keep Prabhu. And still, with all of my fallen nature, sent us out to remember and chant and engage others also to chant with us these names of Krishna. So Guru is so kind and compassionate, knowing that if something like that were to happen, maybe we might run so far. Oh, don't trust these sadhus. They'll take everything.
He warned you. He warned you. He said, be very careful. Don't trust that sadhu wearing saffron, carrying Bhagavatam under their arm. They will take everything from you. And when that time comes, when you lose everything, don't cry to me. I've warned you.
He says, don't blame me.
Don't blame me. So now we're going to call to the source of all Guru. In this case, Sri Nityananda Prabhu, in the form of Nitai Gunamani, Amhara Nitai Gunamani, by Sri Lochan Das Thakur, page 61.
Page 36 in spiral and 59 in non-spiral.
And first, Panchatattva. जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद।
पावन श्री नित्यानंद प्रभु की जय। सच्चिदानंद गौर हरि की जय।
What does Ghare Ghare Bhule Prem?
What does Ghare Ghare Bhule Prem Amiyar Bangi?
We went to every house and allowed
Calling
the
out
flood
loud.
of Prem to surge.
What is that flood?
Harina?
Close.
Flood of Krishna Prema.
Ghare Ghare Bhule Prem Amiyar Bangi. How did that flood come about? It was dammed up. It was blocked. It wasn't flowing. How did that manifest?
Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu opened the storehouse.
Who opened that storehouse of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's prem?
Nitai.
Yes.
Is a storehouse.
No, Jagai and Madai. No, I think you mentioned them when you first arrived, didn't you? You set this up.
It all came back like a boomerang.
Jagai and Madai. No sin had they not committed. Every sin under the sun and the moon and in between,
The stars.
under the stars and under the clouds, they had committed. So much so that they personally struck Nityananda Prabhu, made his head bleed. When he was trying to give them Krishna, they went against him in such a way. They actually physically hurt him. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is Krishna himself, was manifesting, well, the mood of Krishna when anyone hurts his devotee. Bhaktavatsal. So he came in a very protective mood, like Lord Nrsingadev. We know that Narasimhadev is the manifestation of the chakra of Vishnu. So what was Mahaprabhu doing? He was roaring, Chakra! Chakra! Calling for his chakra. He was about ready to just finish those two very easily, like he did Shishupal when he was Krishna. Now he was going to finish Jagai and Madai. Nitai stopped him. You have not come for this purpose. Remember just before Sudevi was saying, when we come together in an association of devotees, we should try to associate with the devotee within each other.
Previous Yugas?
It is said that in Satyayug, the first age, the demons were on another planet. In Tretayug, the demons. In Dwapar-yug, the demons were in the same family. Krishna and Kamsa, they're in the same family. In Kali-yug, the demon is in the same body. Demons and devotees in the same body. Which one are we going to nourish? Which one are we going to feed? At least when we come together with devotees, we should try to help each other to nourish the devotee within each other and not associate with the demonic aspect. Encouraging each other to do what is unfavorable for bhakti, this is known as violence to the jiva. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada explains that violence to the jiva is not killing someone, hurting someone, even hurting their feelings or anything like that. That is not violence to the jiva, that's violence to the body and the mind.
And the ego.
And the ego. What is violence to a jiva? He said there are two kinds. One is failing to encourage someone to move toward Krishna with love and devotion. Failing to encourage someone in their bhakti. This is violence because we know about it. We have the cure for all diseases, and yet we're remaining silent, so we're complicit in their suffering by our silence. This is violence. If you see someone about to go over a cliff and you don't say something, and someone sees you like, why didn't you say something? They didn't know they were backing over a cliff, right? This is violence. The other kind of violence is much more severe. Active encouragement away from the path of bhakti toward Maya or the material energy. This is much more violent because you in essence are pushing them off the cliff. One is failing to stop them from falling off the cliff, and the other one is literally pushing them off. So both of these are considered violence to the jiva. So what Jagai and Madai were doing wasn't violence necessarily to any jiva. They were all to themselves, unfortunately. Anyhow, the demon and the devotee is inside. We should try to encourage the devotional aspect in everyone, as Mahaprabhu has ordered. Wherever you go, whomever you meet, tell them about Krishna. This is ahimsa, real ahimsa, or non-violence for the jivas, telling them about Krishna. So Nityananda Prabhu stopped Mahaprabhu. No, you have not come for this purpose. What are you going to do? The demon and the devotee is in everyone. Are you going to kill everyone? You've not come here for this purpose. Your glory will truly be known if you can demolish the demonic tendency within them, but awaken and nourish the devotional aspect. So by this, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, by the petition of Nityananda Prabhu, that's why we hold on to his lotus feet. Even Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is saying, I am the most simple of all simple, lower than a worming stool, more simple by millions of times than Jagai and Madai. And yet he's praying for mercy. Because he knows that if Jagai and Madai can be rescued, then I am also a hopeful case of being rescued for mercy. So, Nityananda Prabhu petitioned on behalf of these two. He told Mahaprabhu, please give them your mercy. At that time, the dam broke. No, previously it was blocked up. What happens when a dam breaks? Does anyone know?
Flood.
Have you ever seen like the little villages in the fields underneath the dam? That dam is so high and it's carrying millions of gallons of water. If that dam breaks, everything is flooded. Whether you want to be touched by it or not, you will be. This is what Nityananda Prabhu did with the heart of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
Prem itself.
He broke that dam, and what was in the heart of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? Prem itself. Flooded everywhere. Amyaravan. Went to every house and flooded everything. Even those who did not want it could not escape it. So this is the mercy of Sri Nityananda Prabhu. And this is the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. By Nitai's mercy, Mahaprabhu's mercy will drown us completely in that prem. And that's what Mahaprabhu has come to give. And by the mercy of Nitai, who manifests to us here and now in our lives in the form of Sri Guru, that prem will be able to also flood, drown us. It's not a bad drowning, it's the best drowning. Right now, from that transcendental perspective, we are literally drowning in the sewage of this material world. And they want to take us and place us in the ocean of nectar. So we should drown in that ocean, the ocean of prem. By Nitai's mercy, we will receive the grace and mercy of Mahaprabhu. As he said in just the previous bhajan to that, just call the name of my Gauranga and you can purchase me. Right?
Yes.
No. We're going to call out to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu now. Jadi Gauranga nahito, tabe ke huito, kemone haritam de. Radhara mahima prema rasasima jagate janata ke. Page 68 in our Shridoriya Giti Buksha.
What page is it in your jungle?
Jadi
Gauranga.
Gauranga.
Shri Narahari Sarkar.
Page 42 in the spiral books, and we're getting on them.
If Sri Gauranga had not appeared, then what would have become of us?
52.
How would we have survived? Who could have taught the world about the glories of Srimati Radharani and the topmost limit of Premaras?
42 is that way.
Who would have had true insight to enter the sweet rapture of the forest of Vrinda Devi and the power to render loving service in the mood of the damsels of Braja? With a simple heart, always sing about Gauranga's glorious qualities. I cannot see even one person as compassionate as he in this ocean of material existence. Even though I chant Gauranga, my heart has not melted. How do I continue to maintain this body? How has Narahari been created with a stone in place of a heart? I always remember this bhajan because my last name, my family name is Stein, and Stein means stone. And I'm like, this is because my heart is made of stone like this. Oh.
Radharamanji manifested from stone.
All right, thank you for the blessing and the hope. Sri Narasimha Bhagavan manifested from a stone pillar, and the appearance of Radharaman is just the next day. After the appearance of Narasimha Bhagavan, he also manifested from Shila or stone. So we can pray that my heart may be like a stone, but anyhow, even though I've been given a stone in place of a heart, may that stone be carved by the mercy of the flood of prem. May Radharaman awaken, manifest in my heart.
It's 1, 2. Chanta?
What?
It's
I'm sorry,
1,
what?
2. Can you play the 2 beat or okay?
1,
After he starts.
যদি গৌরাঙ্গ নহিত তবে কি হইত কেমনে ধরিত দে যদি গৌরাঙ্গ
নাহিত তবে হইত কেমনে দায়িত
রাধার মহিমা প্রেমর সীমা রাধার মহিমা রাধার মহিমা প্রেমর সীমা রাধার মহিমা জগতে জানা তো Nandana Gaur Hari Ki Jai. Before we continue on to the next bhajan, because actually we've been going for some time, I haven't seen the clock. I have no idea what time it is.
8:50.
And we still have another. Okay. So